Welcome to the Risk Wheelhouse, the podcast where we navigate the ever-changing seas of risk management and technology. Join your hosts, Ori Wellington and Sam Jones, as they steer you through the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the future of integrated risk management. Ready to chart a course towards success? Hop aboard and let's set sail into today's deep dive.
Okay, so you're here with us because you want to understand the big stuff, right? And you want to understand it quickly, especially something like AI that's changing so fast.
That's right, and that's exactly why we're here. We're diving deep today into how organizations can kind of get ahead of the curve when it comes to potential problems, even really serious ones as they start to use more and more AI in how they do business.
Yeah, we're talking about serious risks here. And, AI, it's not some futuristic thing anymore. It's happening right now all around us. And, automating tasks, informing decisions, optimizing tons of stuff.
Exactly. It's really incredible technology. But as John A. Wheeler points out in his article, which we're using as our main source today, this power comes with some real challenges. Things like making sure sensitive data is protected, navigating the complex world of regulations, and guaranteeing that these very sophisticated systems are actually reliable.
Yeah, because if AI isn't managed, well, organizations could be facing, big financial hits, maybe even legal battles and some serious damage to their reputation.
Absolutely. The thing is, regulators are paying attention. They're changing the rules of the game as we speak. For example, Reuters reported just last year that the SEC now requires companies to disclose any AI-related risks in their 10K filings.
Mm-hmm.
Those comprehensive annual reports that public companies have to submit.
Right. And for those who aren't super familiar with SEC stuff, a 10K filing, that's a really big deal. The fact that AI risks are now specifically called out shows just how seriously regulators are taking all of this.
And it's interesting because the challenges with AI, they can actually be really different depending on the industry. The Risk Tech Journal pointed out how the healthcare sector, for example, has very specific needs when it comes to AI governance, especially given how sensitive patient data is and how AI could directly impact people's health.
Okay, so that's a great point. And it seems like there's a lot of potential bumps in the road with AI. So what's the best way to navigate them?
And this is where integrated risk management, or IRM, really comes in.
Okay, so in the simplest terms, what is IRM and why is it so important for any company that's using AI?
IRM, basically, it's a structured and comprehensive way for an organization to look at all the risks it faces, identify them, assess them, and manage them. It's about bringing everything under one umbrella instead of dealing with each risk in isolation, like cybersecurity over here and financial risks over there.
Yeah, so it's like seeing the whole picture of risk, how everything connects.
Exactly. And when we apply that to AI, it means making sure that how a company uses AI is aligned with its big picture business goals, that it complies with all the laws and regulations, and that it's protected from things like cyber attacks, and then also that the company can adapt and stay strong even if things go wrong.
So for example, like an AI security breach, that's not just an IT problem, right? It could affect the whole company financially and reputationally.
Exactly. And IRM gives companies the framework they need to balance the huge potential of AI with its potential downsides so they can benefit from the technology without being exposed to too much risk.
Makes sense. So Wheeler's article breaks down IRM into 4 main areas, and we're going to go through each one and see how it relates to managing AI risks. So let's start with enterprise risk management, or ERM. So when we talk about AI, what's the main focus of ERM?
So with ERM and AI, it's all about the big picture, the long-term strategic stuff. It's asking those big questions like, how will AI affect our overall business strategy years down the line? Is our investment in AI something we can sustain financially? And are we doing this ethically? Are we thinking about the ethical implications of using AI?
Right. So ERM, when it comes to AI, it's about making sure everything is aligned strategically, that the company is being financially responsible, that they're being ethical in how they use AI.
Yeah, that's right.
So what would be some real-world examples of AI-related issues that would fall under this ERM category?
Well, think about the risks a company takes when it invests heavily in AI. They need to be sure that those investments will actually pay off. Right? Then there's the risk to their reputation if their AI system makes a mistake or is seen as being unfair. And of course, there are the ethical questions like, are the algorithms biased? And what are the company's principles for using AI?
Right. So if a company wants to be proactive.
Are you ready to see risk management in action? At Wheelhouse Advisors, we've launched a new YouTube channel dedicated to integrated risk management. You'll find quick explainers, insights from our IRM Navigator research reports, highlights from the Risk Journal, and conversations from the Risk Wheelhouse podcast. We're covering the topics that matter most to executives and risk leaders, from AI governance and cyber insurance to operational resilience and regulatory change. Every video is designed to help you anticipate risks, adapt with confidence, and build resilience in a digital-first world. In our first video, we explain how ISO 42001, the EU AI Act, and the NIST AI Risk Management Framework can work together as a unified playbook for AI risk. Subscribe today at youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv and get the latest insights delivered directly to you. That's youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the risks that matter most.
And manage these ERM-related AI risks, what are some practical steps or solutions they can take?
Wheeler suggests a few things. One is setting up what's called an AI governance committee. This would be a team with people from different departments like legal, IT, business units, and they work together to oversee how AI is being adopted and used in the company. Another important thing is to have standards for auditing AI for bias and explainability. This means being able to check if the AI systems are making decisions that are unfair and understanding how they actually come to their conclusions. This is something the EU AI Act really emphasizes. And then finally, it's crucial to do a thorough risk assessment before investing in any AI initiative. This helps organizations understand all the potential implications, whether financial, regulatory, or strategic. ISCA, the EU AI Act itself, and firms like Cross Country Consulting all offer some good resources and guidance on this stuff.
Okay, great. So we've covered ERM, which is about the big picture strategy. The next area is operational risk management, or ORM. So when we think about AI, what's the main concern with ORM?
So ORM is focused on the day-to-day. How is AI actually being used in the company's operations?
Yeah.
The main concern is making sure that these processes that are now powered by AI are reliable, that they can adapt if things change, and that there are safeguards in place to prevent disruptions or failures. It's all about making sure the business runs smoothly and effectively, even with AI integrated into everything.
So what specific operational risks related to AI should companies be thinking about?
Well, one example is if a company uses AI to automate its compliance tasks, making sure they follow all the rules they need to be absolutely sure that the AI is interpreting those regulations correctly and that it can adapt as the rules change. Then there's the risk that things could actually become less efficient if the AI isn't integrated well with how the human employees do their jobs. And we also have to consider the risks that come from humans and AI working together. Are people properly trained to work with AI, and are the responsibilities clearly defined?
Right, that makes sense. So what are some IRM solutions that can help manage these operational AI risks?
Wheeler recommends a few important steps. One is to continuously monitor the AI that's used for compliance to make sure it's accurate and up to date. Then there's monitoring the AI's performance overall and having a plan in place for what to do if it fails. And finally, it's important to have clear controls in place for how humans and AI collaborate. This ensures that the AI is actually helping people do their jobs better rather than creating more problems.
Right.
Publications like the Risk Tech Journal and Fast Company often discuss these issues.
Okay, so moving on to the third area, which is technology risk management, or TRM. I'm guessing this is all about cybersecurity and making sure AI systems are secure.
You got it. TRM for AI is all about ensuring those AI systems are strong, resilient, and protected from cyber threats. As AI becomes more ingrained in our technology, it opens up new ways for systems to be attacked, so companies need to be proactive.
So what are some specific AI risks that fall under TRM?
Well, we're talking about AI-driven cybersecurity vulnerabilities, basically new ways that hackers could exploit AI systems. There's also a growing threat of what's called adversarial AI, which is where AI is actually used to attack other AI systems. And then there's the risk of really sophisticated fraud using deepfake technology. And on top of all that, the basic IT infrastructure has to be strong enough to support all this AI implementation.
So how can companies defend against these AI-related tech risks? What are some IRM solutions within TRM?
Wheeler talks about the importance of AI-specific cyber threat intelligence, meaning companies need to stay informed about the unique cyber threats that specifically target AI systems. They also need to implement what's called zero trust security for their AI systems. This is basically a security model that's based on the idea of never trust, always verify for anyone or anything trying to access those AI resources. And then there's AI model penetration testing, which involves proactively trying to find weaknesses in the AI systems before they can be exploited by bad actors. Organizations like NIST companies like IBM and professional groups like ISICO, they all offer guidance and resources on these topics.
Okay, great. So we've covered ERM for the big picture, ORM for the day-to-day, and TRM for the technology itself. Now let's move on to the fourth area, governance, risk, and compliance, or GRC. What's the main focus of GRC when it comes to AI?
GRC for AI, it's all about making sure that everything about the AI, from its development to how it's used, follows the rules and ethical standards. And because those rules and standards are always changing, companies need to be able to adapt. It's also about building trust with the public, so people feel confident that these AI systems are being used responsibly.
So what specific AI risks are we talking about here under this GRC heading?
Well, one big challenge is keeping up with the constantly changing laws and regulations around AI. Then there's the requirement for AI to be auditable and transparent, meaning companies need to be able to show how their AI makes decisions and prove that it's operating within the rules. And then more and more companies are using AI tools and services that are provided by other companies. So it's important to assess the risks that come with using those third-party vendors.
So what can companies do to manage these GRC-related AI risks? What are some of the IRM solutions that Wheeler suggests?
Well, one thing is to use technology to keep track of AI compliance. This can help companies make sure their AI systems are following all the rules, such as the SEC's requirements for those 10K filings. Then there's creating detailed reports on the AI's auditability and governance. This helps provide transparency and documentation for regulators and stakeholders. And finally, it's crucial to do thorough risk assessments of any third-party AI vendor to make sure they also meet the necessary ethical and compliance standards. News outlets like Reuters and companies like Audit Board and Cross Country Consulting, they provide a lot of insights and tools for this area.
Okay, so we've now explored all four of these core domains of IRM and how they apply to the challenges and the opportunities of AI. And it really shows how important a comprehensive strategy is. So what are some of the most important steps that companies should be taking right now to effectively manage AI risk using this IRM framework?
Well, Wheeler really emphasizes that AI isn't some future thing. It's happening right now, and it's changing how businesses operate in a big way. So companies need to be proactive about managing those risks. He suggests 4 key actions. The first is to make AI risk management a central part of their overall IRM strategy. This means making sure that oversight of AI is built into how they manage all risks, not treated as some separate thing.
That makes sense. It can't be an afterthought. It needs to be a core part of how the company thinks about risk. So what's the second step?
The second is to do thorough and specific AI risk assessments to make sure they are following the rules and regulations from the SEC, the EU, the FTC, all the relevant bodies. A deep understanding of the regulatory landscape is absolutely essential.
Okay. And the third proactive measure?
The third is to invest in some key areas like AI data governance, making sure the data used to train and operate the AI is accurate and reliable and properly managed. They also need to invest in bias monitoring to actively prevent the AI from making discriminatory decisions, and they need robust cybersecurity measures that are specifically designed to protect AI systems from the unique threats they face.
Okay, and finally, the fourth action companies should prioritize.
The fourth is to take advantage of IRM technology solutions. There are tools out there that can really help companies oversee their AI, effectively streamline the process of reporting on compliance, and encourage a more ethical and responsible use of AI throughout the organization.
Now, Wheeler's pretty clear that ignoring these potential AI risks is not an option. So what are the likely consequences for companies that fail to manage them effectively?
The consequences can be huge. They could face increased scrutiny from regulators, big financial penalties, and serious long-term damage to their reputation and the trust they have with their customers. It's a risk that no company can afford to ignore.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway about AI risk management and IRM?
The main message is this. By strategically integrating AI into a strong and comprehensive, integrated risk management framework, organizations can really unlock the power of AI and use it to transform their business, while at the same time making sure they are compliant with regulations, maintaining strong security, and achieving their big-picture strategic goals. It's about being innovative but also responsible in this new age of AI.
Exactly. It's not just about jumping on the AI bandwagon. It's about doing it in a smart way that's sustainable and secure for the long haul. And with that in mind, here's something for everyone to think about as we look ahead. What might happen, both good and bad, to companies that either embrace this integrated approach to risk management or decide to ignore it as AI continues to advance at such a rapid pace? It's a question worth considering as we navigate this exciting but complex new world.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.
That wraps up another episode of the Risk Wheelhouse. Thank you for spending time with us at Wheelhouse Advisors today. We hope you found the conversation insightful and actionable for your organization's risk strategies. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis and thought leadership on risk technology, be sure to visit the Risk Tech Journal at therisktechjournal.com. It's your go-to source for comprehensive articles, expert interviews, and the latest trends shaping the industry. Subscribe today to stay informed. For any inquiries or feedback, please contact us directly at info@wheelhouseadvisors.com, or feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and x.com and share your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. Visit wheelhouseadvisors.com for more information and resources. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, navigate wisely.